Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is First Person Tutor speaking. And earlier I tried to go live and it was a bit of a nightmare. I will not lie to you. It was a bit of a nightmare. It really was. Um, I had to clear up some space off the computer. My browser kept crashing. It was a lot. It was really a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot. So I am sincerely hoping that everything that I'm planning to do will actually work. So yes, this is an idea of what it would look like if you are attending my classes on either Zoom or Google Meets, right? We would have a look at the screen, you know, have a look at puzzles, you know, take a guess as to what the right moves are, you know, improve the level of thinking, improve the optimal decision making, that sort of thing. So anyhow, allow me to introduce myself. I do apologize for the the lag. So I'm gonna remove the camera and add it one more time because that's it's good. There we go. Yeah, I do not know what that was. I promise you I don't. I promise you I don't. So Murphy's Law. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Murphy's Law. Okay? So I have three Google Forms. Two of them attached to Facebook and Instagram pages. The idea is that if you're really interested and you click on the link, there's a page one, you enter that information there, and then when you get to page two, there's a video that even shows you how to fill out that form, and there will be a video on how to fill out the other two forms, right? So there will be a first person tutor Google form, I will still learn Google form, and a commitment form. And the commitment form is found in the. There we go. It happened again. Alright, give me a second. I'm gonna get off the. So, what is happening is the USB port is probably faulty. Maybe that's what's going on. Maybe that's probably my assessment. Right? Probably that. Let's see. Oh, see? I switched the port and look at that. Well, I guess that's a solution, right? If you cannot castle queen side, castle king side. I suppose that is the lesson. I do apologize. My dog has distracted me for just a few seconds. But yes, I'm gonna okay, I'm gonna say this, right? I want to offer all free demonstrations and free classes all of Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday for first person tutor, Saturday and Sunday for we still learn. Now I genuinely don't know. I don't know who's gonna show, but what I will do is put the information out there so that people can be aware. That's the only thing I can do, right? So I just had a TikTok live. It was supposed to run from 7 to 8:30. I ran it for maybe a little bit longer, like 30 minutes longer, to kind of look at some games. Um, it's a good experience in terms of having the viewership, that sort of thing. That part of it is good. The part of it that's not so good is that sometimes some people they're gonna try and they're gonna try and hijack the program. They're gonna try and leave. Some of them will leave nasty comments or unnecessary comments, and you just have to say, you know what? You just have to treat it like losing material. Just keep going. Just keep playing. Keep playing. because losing the material does not lose it again. If your will and your determination breaks, then you lose. So you have to decide that, look, I lost the bishop. So what? Let me ignore it and push on with a more threatening attack. Something you have to deal with right away. More of an emergency for you than it is for me. So I want to do the tour. It's actually very easy to find all of us, whether it be first person tutor, meaning if you're working on a smartphone, laptop, or your tablet computer, chances are you're working with first person tutor, right? Yeah. And then of course, so the idea is that the one-on-one classes, so mostly, so let's put it like this. First person tutor classes are mostly one-on-one with a hint of group sessions, which to be honest with you, group sessions are so one-on-one and face-to-face at first person tutor. But I will still learn most of that is face-to-face, because the idea is that we'll have like board game activities, learning how to play chess, learning how to incorporate other board games into playing chess, learning how to read for those that have the deficiencies and you know the diagnosed problems with reading, um and then of course, apart from that, there's mathematics, there's PEP, there's CSEC. Well, CSEC mathematics in particular. So CSEC maths, City and Guilds maths, preparation for PEP, reading, chess, board games. What? There's something else I had in mind. A mixture of content creation and constructive use of AI for your students. Yeah. So all of that happens at we still learn. Anyway, so where do we go from here? Uh, let's. I mean, okay. So this again, right? The online session might look something like this. Sometimes you'll see my face, sometimes you won't. You'll be hearing my voice, right? But we want to focus on the board, so this would be our way of doing that, right? So maybe I'll put the board over here, and maybe if I want to make myself a little bit, yeah. See, so we can share a little bit of the space, right? Yeah, yeah. Now, while I'm doing this on XSplit broadcast, though, yeah, the idea is that I'll be using Zoom or Google Meets to do the classes. Now, the thing with Google Meets is that it's practically free, unlike Zoom where you have Zoom Pro and then you can do the streaming and that sort of thing. Um, Also, the idea of hosting for longer than 40 minutes, because that's going to be. So I do believe that Google Meets maybe it might be the format. As much as some people would prefer Zoom, I would say the only problem is, unless, if we're going to be completely fair, if I get a good amount of returning clientele and so on, and yeah, I'll be able to easily afford a yearly subscription with Zoom Pro. That way, because one thing I like, if I'm doing a yearly subscription, I don't have to worry about January, February, March, April, May, June. I just worry about it the following year. And by then, hopefully, you will have accrued enough funds to be able to make the payment the following year. So anyhow, I hope I'm not boring you, in all honesty. But yes, this is what it looks like. I can always, right? So and I give commentary. I explain what is happening. For example, right here, the idea is that he wanted you to take the bait. He wanted you to capture the rook. If you capture the rook, you lose the game, right? So you decided to stay on the file because staying on the file is more important. Alright, so he castled. He did the long side castle, the queen side castle. Now he's setting up for the checkmate. So he had to capture one of the rooks, and then that was the end of the puzzle, right? So that's just a quick demonstration, right? One of the many puzzle games. And funny story, I use 3 chess apps. I use Chess Tempo, I use Chess Coach, I use Checkmate, all 3 of them for the puzzles, and I use puzzle training from Lee Chess as well. And when it comes to a library of things to explore when it comes to chess for free, you can't go wrong with leechess.org, because man, there's a lot. I mean, if you were to just screenshot all of the themes that they explore, it's a lot. It is a lot. I probably need to screenshot it so I can remember everything, because it is a lot. Because when I look at Chess Coach did a good job of saying mate in 1, mate in 2, mate in 3, mate in 4, and more. Then it went into fork, decoy, pin, deflection, destruction of the guard. Then it went into double attack, perpetual check. What's the other one? Deflection, trap. And then I believe the final one would have been counter attack. So they have 14 themes, and that's a good start. But then when you now put that together with some of the concepts from Leeches, it's a lot to explore. It is a lot. It is a lot. I feel like if you're a chess coach and you don't have much material on your own, if you just comb through the modules of Leeches and you explore the themes, I mean, you're not being sued for copyright. No one is saying, oh, don't use it. No, it's there. It's like freeware, right? So yeah. And in this game in particular, I think we're exploring the Scandinavian Blackburn Klosterbeer Gambit. And the idea behind it is that you want to explore what it looks like to give up your pawns to improve your development, to make up for being the person that goes second. So a lot of times gambits will work out in the favor of when you're playing as black. So then you get control of the diagonal in certain ways that you wouldn't have had you not sacrificed 3 of your pawns. So, it's a good idea. But of course, you have to play smart and try not to fall further behind in material and improve your piece activity. So there you go. And of course, my original background, teacher of mathematics. So teaching mathematics and teaching chess, I mean, you can literally get the 2 in 1 from me. So if you're interested in learning your mathematics and your chess, You want to combine them. Instead of you paying 3 for each, you'd pen you'd end up you would end up paying 4 instead of 6 for 2, right? And then if you're combining 3 subjects, then instead of getting it 3 by 3, which is 9, you end up paying 5. So it's a Pythagorean triple: 3, 4, 5. So if you pay for 1, it's 3. If you pay for 2, it's 4. If you pay for 3, it's 5. 3, 4, 5. But yes, let me not bore you. Let me not bore you. What else can we explore? All right, let me hide the browser a little bit. Oh, hold on. Let me see something. All right, this is the one that I need to be using. Okay, so I'm bearing this in mind while I have the conversation with you. All right, now let us go to. All right, I want to go to a blank page. Let me go and type in Google. I want to type in Google and see how that looks. How does that look? Right, there we go. I'm gonna make myself small, or maybe not even here. Maybe. Alright. I will be back. So let's type in. There we go. And look at that. They're even telling you how to find me. Reading, mathematics, pep and chess. Teaching style combines fun with learning by making lessons feel like a video game. Da 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 da. Social media. There you go. Yeah. Alright, so you have that as your options, right? You can read the AI overview. Now, I'm curious, what happens when I click this? Oh, this takes us to the Instagram. Okay. That's neat. So, sometimes you will actually find out. Oh, and look here. They also have the YouTube links and that sort of thing. Okay. So, you have the Instagram here. You have the YouTube here. And this is, I guess they're featuring my more recent or popular videos. That's what they're saying. So,
what the rook is gonna do, right?
no. Yeah, this was a mistake. This was a mistake. And what I mean by that is, so let me give you context, right? So, all right, let me close this for a minute and switch the tab so you can have an idea of what I mean. So earlier, when I would record my sessions, right, about going through the chess, just focusing on the chess, I had all of this in the background, right? And I was like, man, I don't know. I don't really like, because no, the board is small. You have the analysis board over here. You have all of this going on over here, right? There's a lot going on. So I thought, hold on, let me see if I can make an adjustment. No, that's not quite it. Let's try this again. Now, depending on how we want this to go, it can look like this, where I share, some of the space with the board. It can look like that. But if not, we can always do this and focus on the board itself. So when I say, so in other words, when I first started making the videos, unfortunately, they looked more like this instead of like this. And I know for the purpose of, for the purpose of staying focused, we know which is the better option of the two. We know. This has to be it, right? This is a lot, a lot of distractions, Too much is going on here. But this, yeah? So for example, let me say it again. This is how I used to record my footage of going through chess lessons. I stopped doing it like that, and I'm doing it like this from now on. So this way, you don't have any distractions. You don't have the analysis board in the way. You don't have the names of the openings, the ratings that you have, the people that were playing, the rating, what number puzzle it is, all of that. We don't need all the fandangles. What we need is a chessboard, the chess pieces, the black, the white, the 8x8 squares. This is what we need, right? So when I say I made a mistake, that is what I meant, right? Now I am going to, oh, sorry about that. Oh my god. Yeah, let me, I want to make a minor adjustment here. Okay, there we go. What else did I want to do? I want to ensure that I'm switching to the right tab. Alright, good. So we switch to the right tab now. Now let us, there we go. Alright, so if you have any interest, right, you go to the Instagram, you go to the YouTube, right? You can do it either of those ways here. You can scroll past those series of videos. Oh, look at that. We have this video here. This one was made 1 day ago. Okay. Now I'm wondering, yeah, this, as you notice, I don't like this madness over here. It's kind of crazy. So maybe I might want to, look at that. See? So when I want you to focus on the video without all of the craziness to the right, this is what I'll have to do, right? So allow me to you know, let me let this video play so that you can hear what's going on. So I muted myself. So let me say this one more time. I'm going to unmute it so you can hear what I'm saying in this video.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is First Person Tutor speaking. And I don't want to say the typical phrase, you know, you have a tired for my face, all of these things, right? But I created 3 Google Forms, 3 of them. The idea is this: if you're on the Facebook page, if you're on the Instagram page, you're going to see a link in the bio. When you click on the link in the bio, it takes you to a form that says, thank you for expressing your interest. And of course, there's a page 1 and a page 2. The first page, well, you know, there'll be just 3 questions. Your email, your name, and 3 selections. Whether you're going to be doing the free live stream, or the online, or the face-to-face. And that's it's not multiple choice. It's more like a checkbox, right? So, if you know, you know, right? For the people that design Google Forms, or the people that design websites, that sort of things, you know. Did I say that sort of things? It's fine. Anyhow, so I am doing my best to give full tutorials on how to fill out these forms. So I'll be posting them throughout all of this week, and I'll be going live throughout all of this week. I will be advertising all of this week, everything. will be happening this week. Alright? So online classes Monday to Thursday with first person tutor, and the weekend face-to-face classes at We Still Learn. So if you're interested in either of the two, then you will know which one is for you. Yeah. So, let me say it again. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is We Still Learn speaking. And I might have said it before, and I'll say it again. There's a form that takes you to the Google form. So imagine a form that takes you to another Google form. But I promise you, the videos are there to explain how to fill them out, right? So by example, if you fill out page 2, ignore page 3. And if you fill out page 3, ignore page 2. And that goes for both first person tutor and We Still Learn. Right? But again, you will be given the tour guide. You will be given that. Right? So, transparency. If there's one thing you're going to get from me, it will be transparency. And then page 2 of the form. I didn't really go into much detail about it, but it will ask whether you're interested in online classes. If you say yes, you click on the link. It will ask if you're interested in the face-to-face. If you say yes, you click on the link. And those links will take you to the Google form to sign up for the class. If you're not interested, you can press no for each, and then in the follow-up no, it will ask you, are you interested in the free live stream? If you are, then below there's a question about joining the WhatsApp channel, and that is where we will place links to the live. So anyhow, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This has been
Oh, I do apologize. I was mute. I was saying sometimes I really hate YouTube. I mean, they keep throwing things that have. I don't know if I'm subscribed to. I mean, I know I'm subscribed to certain people on different channels, but on my first person tutor, I don't think I am. I wouldn't think. But sometimes they will throw things at you based on something that you've watched before, and then, yeah, so you have to be mindful of your, they'll suggest things to you based on something you've watched once. You'll watch it one time, and all of a sudden it's all over your page, and you're like, I watched the video once. So, that was our perusal of that particular video there, right? Whoa, how did we get here? Okay, so let me try and take you back to the, let me try and take you back there. Alright, good. So, we're gonna scroll down again, and here we are. We can just go directly to the YouTube right here. Right, all the shorts will tell you exactly what has been going on, right? A lot of chess going on, and believe me, I've not forgotten to teach mathematics, but just throwing it out there. I've been busy, as you can see, right? Wow, this looks a bit fuzzy. Okay, Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is first person. No, not what I was expecting it to be. Oh, back when I had the Rubik's Cube here. And this was when I first discovered my chessboard. Oh, and look, the mathematics that I told you about. Right, so this is one of my favorite things to explore. And I'm going to be mindful of looking at these questions, in all honesty. So we have 32 minus 52x minus 45x squared. Oh yeah, I'm going to remember a lot of these, because the idea is you want to use the AC method and find a meaningful way to replace the middle term and find the correct terms that would allow you to do that. And I've devised a system that allows you to do it that's a little bit, I want to say, unconventional, and it's not typically what most people are demonstrating in their videos. But of course, you know, when you're nowhere near as famous as everyone else is, you know, no, who's going to pay attention to you, right? So that's why, oh, look at that, changing the subject of the formula. Another one of my favorite aspects of mathematics, because when you understand this, when you're doing geometry, when you're doing consumer arithmetic, when you're doing, let's see, geometry, consumer arithmetic, functions, when you're doing every form of algebraic equations, really, changing the subject of the formula ties into everything, especially trigonometry. Because the thing that a lot of people make the mistake with when it comes to the topics that people have a problem with, people think, oh, I have a problem with trigonometry. Nope. The problem you have is the algebra, not the trigonometry. The problem you have is literally the algebra. If you knew the algebra, then the trigonometry, the geometry, the consumer arithmetic, everything will take care of itself, because you know how to find unknowns. And when you know how to find the unknowns, especially when you're given a situation where you have to find total surface area or volume of, you know, three-dimensional shapes, you don't look at it and go, oh my god, what am I supposed to do? No, you'll have a better idea, because you have the foundation, right? The foundation is going to be the thing that saves you, right? So things like your prime numbers, knowing how to find the HCF and LCM with ease. You know, when you can do these sort of things, even simultaneous equations become very easy to do, because you have to use the LCM in simultaneous equations a lot of the time. When you're factorizing, you're gonna have to know how to find the HCF, right? So I'm kind of glad I'm on my YouTube page, where I'm, you know, taking the time to look back on some of my older videos on mathematics. And yeah, these were my old videos when I had the bigger whiteboards, boards that I'm looking to either replace or, you know, retrieve, right? But yeah, this was the concept of first person tutor when I just started it. I wanted it to be, well, I'm still going to do that, but it's a lot of work, you know, doing the being the content creator and being the teacher and trying to do all of that by yourself. It's a lot. So the more reasonable way of going about it is ensuring that I have an assistant that can take care of the social media while I work on, you know, doing all of this. Oh wait, oh, look at that. We've come to the earliest days. I like going through all of this, right? This is a trip down memory lane, but worthwhile. I think this is worth exploring, right? So replacing the middle term, making the subject of the formula, right? You're going to need that in every area. Mathematics, physics, any equation that you want to do, changing the subject of the formula will make every equation easy to do. Then of course I need to replace one of my Rubik's Cubes, the only one that I had, so I obviously need to get a collection. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that yeah, Rubik's cubes are a part of the curriculum for sure. I will I will I will put that information out there. I am putting that information out there. Um some of the throwback videos on how to find find us on social media, but I think these were done by screen recordings, right? Um yeah, maybe when this was my plan to do the classes in May and in June. Yeah, I think I was still figuring things out, you know. I really was, and I'm much further than I was when I started this journey, because I had to refine or rebrand a lot of the things that I was doing. Once upon a time, Bossman Teaching was where I did all of my teaching, and now I have repurposed Bossman Teaching into something else. I really have. So Bossman Teaching is a social media agency for teachers. Whereas what I do here as first person tutor, I incorporate board games, chess, Rubik's Cubes. All of that will be done at We Still Learn, right? But you're mainly doing mathematics and chess with me, with a hint of reading that I will have my, I'll have my personally, you know, trained assistants who will definitely give the one-on-one or group sessions in reading, because as much as I would like to teach reading, because of the work that I have to do with pep, chess, CSET maths, and incorporating that with the the mental ability, the brain teasers, the puzzle solving, because I have to do all of that, I feel like I need someone else to assist me with the reading aspect of it, because you know I don't want to compromise the quality of one's education because my brain is all over the place. So I will definitely provide that support where that's concerned, right? Yeah, I'm kind of proud of looking back on the shorts. I really am, because it's kind of showing me where all of this is coming from. The idea of first person tutor is that you'll be looking at the board, focusing less on my face. So I try not to be as distracting unless I'm advertising for classes, like with this here, with me and the chessboard, or with me and the Rubik's Cube, right? So once you see my face, I'm either doing a skit or I'm advertising, right? So I have a skit called Which is the Better Piece? Something that I should continue. But boy, the thumbnails, ugh. Sometimes the thumbnails catch my face in the strangest of poses. Yeah. Oh, these are puzzles that we went through. Puzzle 218, 236, 241, 364, 366, 374, 389. Okay. A lot of these games that you see here, well, all of these are puzzles that I solve on Checkmate, the Checkmate app, right? I used to try and record some of this while going live, but the Checkmate app has too many ads and I don't have the paid version of it yet, so I'm gonna focus on just using recordings of those. Let me see what this looks like. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Teacher, where the aim in the group actually look at. Okay, fine. Whoops. Yeah. Oh. All right. This is first person tutor speaking. The voice of Bossman Teaching. I remember that. Yeah. Yeah. The phone tumbled over. Yeah. Alright, so that was a good enough tour of this going on here. Wait, what did I do here? I forgot to do this. But never mind. Okay. Alright. Well, that's enough about that. By the way, whenever we go live, you can just go to the tab right here. Although, why am I not seeing anything? That's weird. That is very weird. Yeah, thank you. I was wondering about that. There we go. So, went live 1 month ago, 1 month ago, 1 month ago, 2 weeks ago, right? So, oh, right. I started dating them. So, this is July 24, July 24. This is August 10, August 14, August 21, August 27. So I try to go live every Friday. Well, I might start doing it Thursday and Friday, to be honest. I might very well do that. I might very well do just that. Alright, so that's enough of that. So, you know, just in case you want to see whenever we go live, you can go there. These are the shorts. Videos here. Ah, I remember this. I was talking about the idea of the notations in chess. So I was explaining why I came up with the video that I'm going to release. So yeah. So 2026 is 2026. 08 is the 8th month of the year, being August. 07, so it's August 7, 2026. 1819 means 12 from that is 6:19 p.m. So 6:19 p.m. with about 25 seconds in. That was the date, you know, the day, month, year, and the time and hour of the day that I did this video. Alright, enough about that. Let's go and click on the blue. Click on one more link. This will come up. You can read if you like. And if you're interested in We Still Learn, you can go directly there from here. Right? So, just in case you're curious about the face-to-face classes, the what I call the STEEP community, the students, teachers, and enthusiastically energized parents, yeah. But since we're on first person tutor, we're not going to detour too much. We'll just click just to see if the link works. The link works. So just in case you want to have a look, yeah, you can just scroll down, have a look. Similar thing, we're going to be doing what we do over here. You'll see what I'll explain it in due course. So I click on one more link. I scroll down here, and here we are. So we'll go to the WhatsApp channel from here. Alright. Now for those who are interested in the classes, the idea is you can forego all of this. Forget about all of this. You don't need all of this. Right? Because you would have already visited them, or you can visit them later. But if you're focused on just filling out the form, and here we are. Now I'm going to clear the form because this is kind of annoying to me. It just saved my data, you know, because it's holding on to my email. Alright, so I have a lot of work to do. I have to find out which video is the most accurate depiction of the most recent form that I've created. This page 1 is identical to both first person tutor and we still learn, so it looks exactly the same, right? It gives you the same options here: the email, parents name, parents WhatsApp, students name, student WhatsApp, grade level. The idea is, if you're an adult learner, you write your name down twice, your WhatsApp number twice, and then you scroll down and you select adult along with that information, right? I have a lot of videos that explain that. Yeah, there we go. Now, because these are required forms, or rather required questions, I might have to just cheat the system, right? I'll just write, you know, there we go. So this is just an example of it, right? Okay, now if we're explaining page 2, we can actually skip this so you can see. Page 2 is identical to 3, but there's a title. Group session is the title of page 2. Let's go to next and see what happens. Oh, they're forcing us to choose. Do we want a group session or one-on-one? Well, if we want one-on-one, let's select one-on-one, ignore the group, and move on to the next page. And now again, we select the one-on-one and we fill out all the information here, right? You type in the name of your country, also type in the time zone, right? That will be useful. Now we need to be consistent. If we select mornings, select mornings only. If you're selecting afternoons, select afternoons only. And if you're selecting evenings, make sure that your answers are consistent, right? So morning, 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 afternoon, 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 evening, evening, evening. And this is how you fill out either page 2 or 3. Now, let us say you wanted to change your mind and say, well, don't want to do the one-on-one anymore. All right. Let us clear form. Clear the form. Oh, look at that. I was supposed to clear the selections. It's fine. All right. It took me back to the beginning. That was a mistake. All right. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We'll speed run it. We'll speed run it. We'll speed run it. We can do that. Right? We're not picking an adult because this will be a child. Once your name is different from the person, then you're filling the form on behalf of a student, which is your child or your nephew, niece, or grandson, granddaughter, whoever it is. Right? Then the idea was, if you wanted to change your mind and switch the group, you would come here. Right? But let's go back over it. We selected one-on-one. We came over here. Scroll down. Select one-on-one again. Right? And then you start filling out this information here. However, if you're not interested in that, well, switch. You select group, ignore everything that is here. Because, you know, odd numbers are not even numbers. So, let's go back. Since we selected group, we come over here and select group. We come over here. And then, you know, I think most people are going to select Google Meets. I think. And then, of course, what we're going to do is, well, we'll select afternoons, afternoons, afternoons. Right? So, we just filled out page 2. We just selected group. So, we're not interested in one-on-one. So, we're going to skip past this. All right, now we have options. First things first, you're making a subject selection followed by your confirmation. The confirmation is basically what you're agreeing to pay, which is pretty simple. The idea is one subject is 3, any two subjects is 4, any 3 subjects is 5. Right? Just putting that information out there so that we have that understanding. So for example, let's say you want to combine CSEM maths with chess and reading. Let's say you wanted to do those 3. If you select that with this, you will get all the 3 for 5 instead of for 9. So whatever you select here, you also select here. Right? And all of this constitutes as 3 anyway. So if you did this, then all of this counts as 3 anyway. Right? So this is just giving you an idea of how to make your selections. If you wanted any 2, you deselect that. And of course, this is what you have. Right? Yeah, I just want to be sure that we're on the same page. So yes, I am hoping that what I'm doing here is very straightforward. I really hope so. And then now, remember we select a group session, so we don't have to select anything here. These tell you, so for example, what did we select? We selected any 2, so we're working with $4,000 instead of 6, right? So 4 instead of 6, 5 instead of 9, right? So at the rate of 4,000 per session, if you multiply that by 3 days, that's 12 for the week. And of course, if you multiply that by 4, that's 48 for the month. There you go. So therefore, when you combine these selections with the number of days, it gives you what the weekly cost is going to be, right? And then now the last thing is, I personally, just like how you write the name of country and time zone, you write the name of your bank personally, and then we can figure out what the best thing is, whether you want to do. We'll discourse, that discourse will happen over the WhatsApp conversation, right? So we'll press on next. And here we are. This is the final part of the form. In other words, if you finish page 4, you're done with the form. But this is just a fun, just a fun thing that I threw in there to say, 1, thank you for completing the form. One more question before you go. Was this form easy to fill out? Yeah? I did my best to guide you. Just in case anybody had any questions, if it was confusing, I tried to alleviate the confusion, and therefore you can give your honest opinion. You can say it was quite difficult. You can say it was easy. You can say it was okay. I am not trying to influence your decision about how easy the form was to fill out. This is on you. Right? So now you can just press submit, and there we go. Now the process is quite similar for We Still a Learn, and of course if you want to fill out another response, meaning if you want to add another child under your tab, then you just press on submit another response, and then you just go through the process again. You'd use the same email and your name, and that way the only thing that would change is the student name, student WhatsApp number, and their grade level. That's probably the only thing that would be different. But there you go. Now I genuinely believe that that was comprehensive. I believe that. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to leave it right there. Yeah. So I don't know why place look dark. Place look dark. Looks so dark. How long have we been doing this? Oh, 55 minutes? Not bad. That's not bad at all. Okay, so I am going to compartmentalize. Whenever I do videos, I'm going to have a black tie. And, mostly, it's going to look like, chess theme. So, for example, we have the black, we have the white, right? So black and white, right? So once I'm dressed like I'm ready to play chess, then it's first person tutor. And then when the tie looks a little patterned now, that will be we still learn. There we go. So there's not much else for me to say. Wait, I had a board, give me a second. I'm going to look for that board. I don't know if I left it in here. I'm gonna look for it. Found it. Found it. Okay. No, I don't know if I'm holding it the right way. See, look at that. There we go. So now whenever I'm playing the coordinate game, I typically tell everybody to play with it as black, because playing as black is a little bit more difficult. So this here, typically, right? So if you're playing as white down here, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, right? That's what it would be. So this would be A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. If you're playing as white, right? But if you're playing as black, you do that from up here now. So let me apologize for the awkwardness of the. Yeah, you see my camera is inverted, so it's throwing me off a little bit. It's throwing me off. So therefore, hold on. See? So this now, you're playing as black now. So because you're playing as black, let's look at this. If you're white, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. So when you're playing as black, it flips. So therefore, this becomes A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. But actually, you have to be careful, because if it's A here, right, then it's going to be reversed, right? Let me apologize for the lighting. Okay. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. So that's how it's going to be when you're playing as black. So it becomes inverted. Therefore, this will be A8, B8, C8, D8, E8, F8, G8, H8. Right? So it flips. So you start from 8 and go to 1, and then of course your A is not on the left, your A is on the right. Your A is on the right. So that's what you have to remember when you're playing as black. And then that's how you play the coordinate game without the numbers and the letters on the board. So you should be able to point to anywhere and say, hey, I know. Right? So just a fun, bit of information to put out here. So you know what? We're past the hour. So like I said, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This has been First Person Tutor speaking. And you've seen the whoops. I wanted to show you the form before I went. Yeah, there you go. So this is the form, right? Yeah, this is the form. And of course, we're going to give you a tour of We Still A Learn. That will happen next, right? So that's all for now. And any questions you have, let me just take it to the Facebook page. If you have questions for me, come on, all that foolishness. Like, sometimes I hate my timeline. I hate my timeline so much. Like, that was entirely unnecessary. Yeah. Okay. Good. If you have questions to ask me, you hover over to that WhatsApp button and you press it there, and you have a conversation with me by doing that. You can also do it through the Instagram page as well. I'm not sure if you're going to see that on the browser that we're looking on. So, I don't know. Oh, by the way, fun fact. Let's say you're looking to sign up the Google form. Now, this is a commitment form. A little bit different. This form, the idea behind it is that, let's say you found the form through Facebook or Instagram. It will take you to this form, right? Where at the end of completing this form, you're confirming that you want to fill out the Google form to register, right? So that's what this is about. And this is only 2 pages anyway. So we have, oh, sorry, let me just complete that, right? If you're interested in online and the live stream, you can do that. And then of course this will tell you what you want to do. If you don't want the face-to-face, you say no and ignore this. If you're interested in online, say yes. You click on this, it takes you to the form, and you can switch back to over here, and you just answer those 2 questions. You go down here. Are you interested in the live stream? You could say no. It's perfectly fine. But if you do say yes, you decide which ones you want. And then of course, the better thing to do is to also accept joining the WhatsApp channel, because what that does is all of the live stream notifications will be thrown in the WhatsApp channel. So therefore, whether you missed it or whether, in other words, when it's about to happen, you'll be notified in the WhatsApp channel. And in the event that you happen to miss it, it will still be available so that you can go and view the live later, so that, all the info and all the updates, you still get all of that. So therefore, you don't have to fill out the form to fill out this form. It just gives you the form so that you can fill it out. So now you can just press submit. You can visit the WhatsApp channel if you want, right? So you can click on that just so you can have access to the link. You can click on that just so you can have access to the link, and then you just press submit, and that's it. And then now You can peruse We Still A Learn. You can peruse First Person Tutor, right? So if you're interested in signing up the form, that's the form. If you're interested in signing up the form, that's the form. And also, you have the access to the form from the original thing that you are filling out. And here you are. So, I don't think there's anything else to share. So again, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This has been First Person Tutor speaking. So let me show my face before we go. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This has been First Person Tutor speaking. So, there we are. Right? So, just so you have an idea of what was going on, right? You fill out the form, you get to see this anyway. You get to see this anyway, and you have access to everything. So, until next time.